two, I'm on two.
First I actually read an advert in the paper and I thought that'd be quite interesting because I'm into history, so I thought I'd maybe get into the writing or the research. And when I got there and met all the guys and that, I thought I'll maybe try my hand at acting, because I quite fancied a wee challenge. I feel quite at home in this part. I worked in the coal mines for 30 years. My father worked in the pit when he was 14, my granddad worked in the pit when he was 12. All my uncles, cousins, my brothers, brother-in-laws, all worked in the pit.
Every story that the film represents has come from the community, and every actor that's playing a part has come from that background, so there's a very strong affinity to it.
As a community project, at all stages we value the community, because in the end of the day their participation is what really matters. Without them we haven't got a film.
Normally you've got the single thing of the script that you work from, and on this the script's been a little bit changing, not much. The locations are still a little bit fluid, and we're working around a core of local community. It's been great, really enjoyable.
The difference between a community project like this and a normal low budget production is that for a low budget production you tend to pare everything down as much as you can. All the cast, all the dialogue, all the scenes. Whereas for this there is a real endeavour to include as many people as possible, as many scenes, so the two things are at odds.
It's been amazing how everyone kind of pulls together and just really goes for it. And I think a lot of times that sort of community spirit gets lost when you're doing bigger budget films or dramas, because essentially people are just there to get paid and go home, whereas this is a lot more about what's actually getting made and the process of how they make it. So yeah, it's interesting. Definitely a cool project to be on, part of history.
I just came along to the workshops and stuff, and they ended up saying to my mum that we're looking at putting him in for the part of a boxer.
Involved in the mini shoots, I had a bit of an idea sort of what kind of thing it was, but I hadn't seen the script for. There's quite a lot that my character does that I have no experience with. I've never had a baby. I don't particularly like water, so the whole thing's just a bit new to me.
Gareth is Baxter. He has a son and a daughter who's pregnant, and he's a reputation of being quite stoic and crabbit.
I play a character called Michael Brogan. He's a sort of family man, quiet guy. He's a World War hero.
10 months what we've been practicing, and this is it now. And me personally, it's like we've been working towards this now, and actually doing it, it's like we want it to keep going. It's like, no, keep going.
My character part is Carno, who's an anarchistic youth worker stroke boxing trainer. I'm not sure should I reveal the real truth about Carno, but I think he might be playing both sides. We shall just have to wait and see, but don't quote me on this, okay?
The period has proven a bigger issue than you would imagine. It's amazing how little is left of the original mining and industrial landscape in Fife and in Lothians here. Areas like Lochgelly were completely industrial, fairly barren actually, not much by way of vegetation. So it's been a struggle. That's why we're here, that's why we're in Bowness. We found this great working railway here with a good coal yard.
Doing today is we're trying to stop a train, because that's obviously taking out the coal. So this is part of the strike, but we've went to the wrong track, and the train driver's laughing at us as he goes past. But my dad, Baxter, played by George, he goes a different direction and managed to get in front of the train. And he manages to stop it, so that's what they're off to do just now.
Today's challenges, well, it's just getting it done in the space and time that we've got to do it, and making sure it reads credibly, really. And I think that's okay. And I think having to move a train backwards and forwards just takes time in relation to getting the train going and getting the train going on time, and that. So it seems to be going very well. And there's always those things. We were kind of lucky that there was a coal delivery just prior to the shoot. So we thought we were coming to film on this little pile of coal, and we got there and there's this fantastic huge big pile of coal, so which is fantastic. So it's all those kind of lucky things, which is really lucky. We didn't have to pay for that coal. They delivered it, and so it was great. And so hurrah, we got coal in a film about coal mining.
The day before we started shooting, we lost the location for our street, and so at that point, when the bulk of the film is based in the street and you're about to shoot it, and it's going to take 2 weeks to build, etc., etc. I mean, that moment is shocking, and you start rethinking on the spot entirely what you're going to be able to do for the next 6 weeks, and the impact of that rescheduling on everybody, etc., etc., and the impact of financially, all that. So, but actually, again, going to one of our local supporters and saying, can you help? This is what happened. And so here we have, the Purvis Company who's just stepped in and said, you want a location, we'll give you one. And within 2 hours we had a new location.
This is the Rose, and the Rose is a combination set. So it's the front street, which we're filming today, and yesterday it was the back green, which is when the wash houses were on it. One of our ladies, who's in her 80s, when she walked onto the set, when it was the back green, was almost in tears because it was so evocative.
The weather's held off.
The weather?
Yeah, which is
Have you had any weather problems?
It's been
good.
sort of.
No.
Yeah.
It's been
good. Few weeks.
It's been warm. It's been scary though, because we haven't really had kind of we
haven't got anywhere to go.
Yeah,
basically, we have no weather cover, so if it rains, we have a problem.
What's going on right now? Well, we're taking a break from the traditional gala day weather. Yes, this is normally what happens on a gala day. Had it been sunny then it wouldn't have been original, so hence here we are underneath this tarpaulin.
We're all moving into the huts just now because the filming's been delayed. They've got some people in the bus singing a song, and they're going to wait for an hour. And if the rain's not going, I think we're going to cut and call it a day.
Rain, more rain. This is Scotland, remember?
So far we've filmed quite a lot of stuff where it's very jolly, it's very optimistic, and I think it's quite helpful for today because quite a lot of scenes that are coming up, the mood needs to change. Obviously not within the cast, but in terms of our story, the mood needs to change. It needs to get dark, it needs to get angry and quite despairing.
Just at the point where we're just about to tip over, they brought us back down again and brought us straight into it, so it's starting to tick over now, so it should be okay now.
We're coming towards the close of the shoot, and we're in the studio at the moment, and so we've got all the interiors of all our hero houses in place.
On the first day I never really knew anything about filmmaking, but But having to come this, it was quite daunting. Seeing all the crew running about doing everything. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know where we'd be. But now that we've been doing it for a while, it's become less daunting, and sort of starting to understand where to go, where to move to, where to say my lines.
Kind of getting through the last of it and making sure time doesn't detract from storytelling, really, and then realising you have to make some tough choices and hoping that you've made the right tough choices.
The pressure on time is really telling now, because there's nowhere to go and there's nowhere to spill over to. Also, everyone's ready. You're building yourself towards the end. The wrap party's ready, everyone's frocks are ready, and the hairdressers are booked. So actually that's, and that is something that we can't move.
We've got one more scene to go where Baxi and I come back from the pit after the cave-in, and so we get all blacked up again. And that's not happening. That'll be us finished for the whole shoot. 5 weeks ago it seemed like 5 years, oh god, it's ages to go, and all of a sudden it's finished.
I mean, it's great to finally get a lie in the next day, but I'm really going to miss it. Everyone's been great, and it's been such a great experience. It's like, I'll really miss it, I guess.
It's been amazing. It's like this little community that we've formed together. There's been so much support from everybody, and everybody's been supporting each other.
It's funny getting to know people so well in such a short space of time, and spending so much time together, and suddenly we're not going to. And everyone's so lovely, so that's quite sad.
I knew I wouldn't get through today without a tear or two. As I was coming now, I have to stop, keep my glasses on. I feel absolutely exhausted and elated at the same time, and I just do think that we've done an exceptional thing in an exceptional way, and we've done it, and we've come to a close, and we've barely dropped a scene, and yeah, I think we've done it.
It's been fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was an interesting project to start with, but it became more and more interesting with the backstories of all the people who were involved, really, and about their relationships with each other and what it meant to them. It's been very hard work, but it's been well worth it.
It was pretty spectacular. Like, it's the first time I've been in a premiere film. I've just been in adverts and theatre productions and that, and it was just great. Like, it was really cool.
I would say it was like maybe every young boy's dream come true.